Hello everybody, welcome to Crafty Soup. My name is Misty and welcome to 2025. That means it's time to do the Counterfeit Kit Challenge where we take inspiration from existing scrapbooking kits and build our own. Our inspiration this month around comes from FEEBIES, the September 2024 kit. And here is just a quick peek. There are lots and lots and lots of add-ons from the FEEBIES Club. So let's dive into the main kit and a few of the add-ons to take some inspiration. Here is a look at the main kit. You can see the overall vibe is blues, oranges, and there are some pops of pinks and yellows in there. And we've got some geometrics, florals, and some hearts going on. Let's take a closer look at the images here. Here is the enlarged view of all the papers included. I am finding some inspiration in a few of these things. I'm pretty sure I have a peachy floral in my stash. I'm really enjoying these split hearts. These apples are super cute. It reminds me of a die that I have in my stash. I like these stars, but I know my star prints are running pretty low. I definitely dig a lot of these geometric prints. This alpha print is pretty cute. I don't think I have anything like that in my stash. We definitely have a few plaids going on and florals from bright colors on white to bright colors on a darker background. Oh, there's even a little bit of watercolor back here. It's a mixed media. And I know I've got stuff like that. Now, some of these subtler prints, I can't quite tell what they are. These two over here. This one just looks like a subtle geometric, a bold geometric. And that one looks like some, chicken wire kind of look. Oh, that one I can see there are some circle prints there. All right, so that's the pattern paper. Here is a look at all of the elements in the kit. I am going to zoom in on this one so that we can look at the embellishments specifically. I know FEEBIES does a lot of die cut ephemera. What else do we have? Some enamel dots. I can do that. I'm not sure if these are stickers or perhaps chipboard. As far as motifs, we've got those books going on. Oh, I didn't cover that. In the pattern paper, there is this row of books. I do not have anything like that in my stash, so that is potential for a forgery. I'm just not sure at this point. I like the sneakers and the books. I noticed some of these apples going on. There are some of these little owls tucked in here. Other half fruits. I did a kit a while back that had some pears in there, and that reminds me of that. Let's see. Little bows, ampersand, some circle bases. I'm taking a look both for what I can include in my kit and also what I can produce on my own. All right, let's keep looking. This is the embellishment add-ons. We'll zoom out a little bit here. Pockets. We've done pockets recently. And in fact, I created my own cut file of pockets, so I can include some of those. We've got some puffy stickers, little puffies, florals. Okay, let's go a little bit faster here. So they always offer a mixed media, what they call their color collection, I think. And there's usually a stamp or a stencil, something like that, and then pots of color. So that's that. And then this, I believe, it says September 24 Pocket Life stamp. All right, with those thoughts in mind, I will make myself a list and head down to my scrappy space and see what I can pull. All right, as we get started here, I am doing a little bit of a new way of showing side by side the inspiration versus what I have pulled. So let me know if you like this new way. You can see that strip off to the right where I will post the inspiration there. And I found this heart right away, and I forgot this was in my stash, so I did not expect to have that kind of match to the kit. The colors are a little bit different, so I will shift. The next piece was a bit of a watercolor, and of course you can't see it in the inspiration fully, so I made do with what I had and the colors that will match the papers that I pull. And this inspiration isn't a perfect match, and that is perfectly okay. I've got a darker background with a lighter star, and that works fine. This one is a little bit closer of a match with this orange floral print. The inspiration is a smaller scale, but that is okay. When I got to the plaids, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I didn't think I wanted all of these plaids in here just because my mojo's been a little down lately for the scrapbooking, and I want to kind of get back into it with smaller kits. So I just chose the one plaid that is kind of a match for that top inspiration piece. All right, let's turn to these geometrics next. I pulled a few things that kind of had the same moods. I'm going to eliminate that star, but this dark navy print that I pointed to there matches the shape of the bottom inspiration piece, even though it doesn't match the color. So I will keep that. This very flimsy light blue piece has a simple circle on it, but those top two inspiration pieces are circles, so that one will stay. And then this kind of birdish floral print that I picked there matches the color, and especially if you squint at it, it kind of matches the mood of that bottom piece. But really, I need fewer papers, so I do set that one aside. All right, working on the florals, I pulled a whole bunch of stuff because nothing was quite a good match. Now, this darker background floral I didn't like very much, and I already have a dark background in there, so I kicked that one out. Now, these two are supposed to go with that kind of middle mod style of flowers, and I just pulled those based on linearness of the paper. And as you can see, I set the other one aside because I didn't like it quite as much. This one was also pulled based on that boxiness to the florals. So when I'm looking at inspiration, sometimes I have to interpret things based on what I have. So I set aside all the things that aren't working as well and keep the things that are working. Okay, now we really get interpretive here, because looking at that book paper, I did not have anything like that in my stash, but the first paper that caught my attention was this geometric over here, and all of the skinny lines of that print made me think of the skinny lines of those books. So that is where I went with that one. That second print there doesn't match as well, so it will get set aside. This yellow is a much larger scale, but the color is good, so I'm going to keep it. And then we have this green leaf print, and I didn't have anything quite like that, but I pulled a green geometric. Since we have lots of geometrics in the kit, I am pulling a color from one inspiration and the shape from another and combining it into this one piece of paper. All right, it is time to move on to embellishments. There were lots of die cuts in the kit, so I did that, picking and choosing some icons that I was inspired by in the kit, shoes, tabs, and a little bit of frames, some stars, and then some grounding pieces to build clusters. I even found a couple of little apple icons, so that works well. I definitely wanted enamel dots in there because I haven't used them in a while, and I love enamel dots, so I don't know what's up with that. There were some pockets in the add-on kit, and since I created this cut file, which will be available on my blog, you can download it for free. I threw in a couple of those in a denim color. There were some owls in the inspiration, and looking at some of the icons in the embellishments was a little tough because they're small. I had to blow them up really large and try and put some pictures in here for you. They're not the best, but you can kind of get the idea of where I was going. So here is another bit of inspiration with some glasses and some coffee. So I pulled out a couple of pieces, but most of all, those apples in the halvesies, both on the pattern paper and in some of the embellishments, were a big key to what I wanted to pull there. So I did get that in with a Concord, a 9th die set. And then there were lots of stars involved. So I pulled out my star bin, and that will come in. And then this one little graphic with some kind of fair amusement park stuff in there inspired this collection of products with tickets and banners. And there was a hot air balloon. I just got this hot air balloon in my Spellbinders Advent calendar, which I have a whole series on if you want to check that out. I had a fabulous time making a bunch of tags and eventually cards out of these products, and I'm excited to use this one in my scrapbooking kit. All right, the very final piece of inspiration from that one graphic was clouds, and I debated on where I wanted to go, and I eventually pulled out this really cheap stencil that still has a little bit of life left in it, so I want to use it before it dies completely. And then moving on to alphas, I pulled out some general blues because that is a big mood, and then I pulled out alphas that are half and half designs, or kind of ish, that kind of match with the heart pattern paper. All right, so that wraps up everything I've got in my kit. I felt like I was reasonable with my papers, but I went overboard with pulling embellishments. We'll see how all of that goes, since a lot of them are kind of create as you go, stamp and die embellishments. So I hope you will come back for the rest of the month and see what I end up doing with all of this scrapbooking goodness. And until then, I hope you have artful days.